Hello and welcome to Decorating Pages podcast. I am your host, Kim Wannop. Happy holidays. How's it going? I hope you are enjoying this time. I hope you have some time off to share with friends and family and that it's going to be a good holiday season for you. I have a little prezi. Today is actually a double episode, so get ready. It is a double feature. Let's put it that way for design nerds. First, I'm sharing from Production Designer Ryu Seong-hie of her designs of the Korean film by Park Chan-wook, who I love, who did Old Boy, and I've been a fan of his ever since, the director. No Other Choice. And I have talked about this film many times over the past 2 months. If you haven't seen it, please do. It's really good. And my first ever translator format reading responses type interview. So we'll get to that first. Then we switched to TV with my full audio interview of Overcompensating with production designer Shayne and set decorator Erika Lobko. So first film, second TV, but both deep dives. Let's put it that way. Let's see what's going on in the world. I just want to send out that the ADG voting is still happening. You're right in the middle of it, so it's the perfect time to go and vote because before the holidays really ramp up this week, get in there, get your votes, look at those presentations, check out everyone's work before you cast that vote because you might discover a show that you've never heard of, that you've never seen, and you look at their presentations and think, damn, they did a lot of work. So, and then you check out the show. So yes, please check out the ADG website. And if you are an ADG voter, get voting, people. I did see online that I saw this like a month ago, that there was this installation about Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein in London. And now it is coming to LA. From January 5th to January 11th at the Naya Studios in West Hollywood. Frankenstein Crafting a Tale Eternal is the costumes, I think set pieces, prop pieces, and just an installation. His drawings, of course. It's just in time for Oscar nomination voting. So check that out. Again, it's January 5th at the Naya Studios West. Oh, sorry. It's Naya Studios West in Hollywood. Not West Hollywood. I've never heard of Naya Studios, so I have to check that out too. Speaking of Oscar stuff, I have been watching a ton of movies and ADG. I watched Marty Supreme, about a young man in the 50s, I think, who is a table tennis freak champion. It's a good. Timothy Chalamet's in it, and Gwyneth Paltrow's in it. The sets are great. Jack Fisk and Adam Willis did a fantastic job for this period piece. I liked it. I thought it was a good movie, a little something different. There is one line, one scene at the end of the film, totally threw me, which I would love to talk to someone about if you have seen it. I actually think it doesn't come out till Christmas, but when you see it, I might have to spoiler and ask about that one line because I'm still mind blown from it. I have seen The Testament of Ann Lee, production designer Sam Bader, and set decorators Lauren Dose and Mercedes Nagaverdi. I thought the period of this, which was in the 1700s, I knew nothing about Ann Lee and the start of the Shakers movement, and I know Shaker furniture. So it was interesting to see the backstory of that and everything. Couldn't get through it, but I did about 40 minutes. Couldn't get through it. Looked beautiful though. See, at least I check out people's work. I don't know. I got a lot of shit to do. I can't get through every movie. Christy, the life and incredible career of Christy Martin, the most successful female boxer in the 90s. The sets I thought were really good. Chad Keith, production designer, and set decorator Rachel Wilkin. So you got the 80s and 90s in there. And into the 2000s, but people don't change their decor that much. Crazy story. I mean, let's put it, basically, they're not making movies about regular people anymore. Everybody's got to have something crazy going on. A little bit of crazy going on with this chick. So I would definitely check that out. I don't really like Sydney Sweet. I think she's fine. She kind of distracts me. But she did pretty good in this. So Yeah. And I caught Batman Returns because it's one of my favorite Christmas. I watched Die Hard too. But Batman Returns by Bill Welsh and Cheryl Karasik is one of my favorite films. Last year I did a Christmas decor episode and asked people, what do you think about Batman Returns being a Christmas movie? I do. Because the whole thing, the whole backstory is about Christmas, and she's, the gifts and the trees and all the ornaments and everything. And so, yeah, I like Batman Returns. It's a very inspiring film to me, so I'm always up to watch it. And I love the performances in that one. All right, should we get to it? Let's do it. Today, I'm doing something a little different. I am very excited to speak with production designer Ryu Seong-hie about her film, No Other Choice, directed by Park Chan-wook, who I am a huge fan of. From the film Old Boy, who I love that film. I know it's weird, but I loved it, and I went down a long, deep rabbit hole back in the 2000s when I saw that film and got into Korean film. So I'm very appreciative of their film and his genre, and I'm just so happy to be able to do this. So I'm talking with production designer Ryu Seong-hie, and this is the first interview that I've ever done completely through a translator. So I sent my questions, they were translated, and her answers came back translated. And let me tell you, the detail still comes through loud and clear. Rue breaks down the 70s Korean French home of the main character's house, why they scouted over 50 houses, how the greenhouse and garden became storytelling tools, and especially the color green and what that meant in the story. The story of this film, No Other Choice, is of a man who, after being employed for several years in one company, gets fired, and he's devastated, and he comes up with a very unique plan to secure a new job. I'm just going to say there are some spoilers in this, so if you haven't seen the film, maybe come back to it. Again, this is on YouTube. I have pictures of the sets that we're talking about, so I hope you check that out while I'm talking. So here we go. I asked, the theme of the film being decisions made but because he has no other choice, did you have any design choices that you had no other choice while designing this film? Her answer was, in this film, the houses of the three characters involved in the murders are crucial, but with a limited budget, we had to take a location-based approach and renovate only the exteriors. We were able to build the entire interior of the main character Mansu's house as a studio set, but the second location, Brumo's house, needed both the interior and exterior to be visible at the same time. This was the only house that met the requirements and was actually available, which felt hopeless at first. And since we weren't even allowed to repaint the walls, we tried our best to overcome the limitations through decoration. I get that. The music room, where the duel takes place, had to be built as a set. But it was such a critical space that carrying over from the location's white walls and modern aesthetic for the sake of visual consistency simply wasn't an option. And it didn't suit the character at all. In the end, we managed to come up with our own identical internal logic to make it work. But every so often, these kinds of nightmarish situations happen. Girlfriend, I hear you. So the second question I asked, what I really appreciate about the film's design is getting to see the interiors of Korean homes. It honestly reminded me of California mid-century in some spaces and Frank Lloyd Wright. What was the discussion of showing the different homes and classes in the sets? She answered, the style the director, Park, had in mind was used to be called the French home. It was a type that became popular in Korea during the 70s. It was essentially a hybrid image mid-century American suburban housing layout combined with simplified decorative elements from the American version of a French Provincial style, all layered with Korea's own modernizing aspirations of the time. Despite the name, it has nothing to do with the actual French architecture. Rather, it reflects the cultural sentiment and desires of that era. It represented an idealized middle-class lifestyle, shaped by a longing for Western, mostly French, imagery. The pace of modernization and the emerging consumer taste of the period. Its typical features included gabled roofs, ornamental railings, arched windows, and simplified decorative elements attached to brick or concrete walls. The director wanted to convey Mansu's psychology through the house, how he reclaimed the home of his father, once prosperous from running a large pig farm he had built and lived in. He cared and restored it and added a greenhouse, and sought to live out the middle-class image he had longed for himself. We searched a long time to find the remaining suburban French house, and only at the very last moment were we able to locate one. The house served as a structural base, but the entire garden had to be redesigned, and we rebuilt the greenhouse, bamboo grove, and much of the main house to match the middle-class ideal Mansu carries in his mind. We added a new roof, railing, and numerous additional details, completing the house as it appears in the film today. I asked, "Did you build the house?" Because I didn't know. I didn't get answers from her and then ask off of that. I just submitted questions. So it seems repetitive. Sorry. "Did you build the house?" She replied, "We renovated the location house based on its original structure. The garden was redesigned and a new greenhouse was added beside it." I asked, "What were your inspirations for the design, and how did scenes like seeing into the atrium from above impact your design?" She responded, "We drew inspiration from brutalist ornamentation. Although it may appear soft at first glance because of its white exterior, we aimed to visualize a sense of heaviness and structural pressure. The balcony was shaped to feel like a solid mass rather than something light. It emphasized structural weight over decorative detail. Instead of blending harmoniously with the brick material, it intentionally collides with it, creating tension. And when the light hits the structure, the deep shadows can sometimes produce stark contrasts, allowing the house to hold both an idealized image and a sense of pressure and grotesqueness at the same time." As you rightly pointed out, there is a scene where the son watches Mansu's actions from the upper floor. So we put considerable effort into designing a structure that integrated glass in a way that allows visibility from above. I asked, "How long was the construction?" She replied, "The construction took over 2 months under the scorching heat in July and August, avoiding Korea's heavy monsoon season in June." I asked, "How many homes did you scout?" She replied, 50. I asked, "Did you make any additions?" She replied, "Again, we renovated the house on the existing location, adding details of railings, windows, walls, and many other elements. We also completely redesigned the garden and built a greenhouse besides the house." Question number 4. "The natural growth of greenery around the house is so good. Bravo to your greens department. Was this implied in the script that the home would have gardens and have a grown-in look, or was that a design choice?" Her response was, "Plants carry both practical importance and symbolic meaning for Mansu. He takes gardening as a hobby, and it was also his father's hobby, and he even built a separate greenhouse. The image of a perfectly middle-class life that he aims for is represented by a beautiful house and garden, and by himself as a family man grilling barbecue for his family. A great deal of care went into creating the garden that expresses his greenery. We tried to blend different species and concepts to represent both the traditional Korean garden, his father's garden, and the modern garden, Mansun's garden." I then asked, "I love this detail of a brick arch which frames some of the scenery perfectly. Was that an addition to the existing home, or did you add this detail?" She replied, "The arch was originally part of the house. In fact, it was one of the reasons we chose the location." I asked, "I'm assuming the interior of the home is a set. This shot especially shows the color palette given to the home and in their world. Can you talk about how color is used in the design of the sets?" I'm showing a picture of the living room in the interior of the house. Her answer was, "Yes, it is a set. The interiors of the 1970s French-style houses in Korea were largely made of wood. We chose to darken the wood tones beyond the brightness and saturation typically used at this time, hoping it would create a sense of pressure weighing down on the family. Green is also an important color for Mansu, both because he works at the paper company and because gardening and bonsai are his hobbies. It is the most frequently used color in the film, and the story moves from end of summer to late autumn, and we wanted the greens to gradually shift from the bright saturated to darker and heavier. Along with this transition of color, we incorporated irregular carpet patterns and other elements to invoke cold, oppressive atmosphere, eventually building toward a feeling as the characters are standing in the midst of something wild and untamed. And it does, people. It gets there. It's very tension, and there's a lot of tension in this movie. Number 7 question that I asked: the greenhouse. I love the natural light that comes through the set, and you had the silhouettes of the plants. I'm assuming you designed and built the greenhouse. Was this on stage? Her answer was because of the many movements in and out of the space, the greenhouse had to be built right next to the house, which functioned as an open set. I designed not only the greenhouse itself, but also the furniture placed inside and their positions. Because of the silhouettes, I even discussed the exact placement of the bonsai with the decorator. Finding high quality bonsai was not easy, but in the end, the ones we obtained were beautiful, and it became one of the most enjoyable parts of the process. I asked, besides normal greenhouse dressing, what did you and your decorator discuss that should be specifically dressed in for this character? She replied, it may be hard to tell at first glance, but bonsai from Korea, Japan, and China are actually quite different. So I asked the team to source bonsai that carried distinctly Korean characteristics. They executed this beautifully. This space is filled entirely with things Mansu loves, a place where he is completely alone, and it needed to reveal not only his aesthetic taste for bonsai, but also his cruelty. To express this, we discussed extensively how to reflect Mansu's fixation on tools, as well as his personality of collecting, organizing, and studying various types of paper in dense, meticulous ways. The team carried this out wonderfully. I did. I mean, it's very character-driven spaces when you see these sets. I then asked, what were the discussions about taking this set from day to night with the DP? I asked this because there's very intense scenes in this, and sometimes it's raining and everything, so I wanted to talk about her design through light. Her answer was, we wanted the bonsai and the greenhouse, which appear beautifully during the day, to take a fantastical yet subtle, untamed quality at night. This sense of natural unruliness connects directly to the film's final scene, where the forest, the trees, and even the man-made machines become frighteningly overwhelming. We talked extensively about how the space would feel like a beautiful yet unsettling dream, something essential to shaping a film's emotional tone. And in a scene where the sun watches the greenhouse from above, we wanted to heighten both the tension and the visual richness. So we used a variety of materials for the ceiling, not only glass, but also PVC, polycarbonate, and others. I then moved to another character's house, which is very modern, very stark white, and then a super interesting office space that you should really see. I asked, Bumo's house. It's such a layered room for this character, and it's great. These cardboard pieces on the walls and the ceiling. How did you come up with this concept, and why design it for this character space? She answered, in the greenhouse, if the greenhouse is a space that feels unmistakably Mansu, or like a dream he might imagine, then Bumo's music room is equally a reflection of his own inner world. Like Mansu, Bumo once worked at a paper company, and he is an analog-minded character who cherishes both paper and music. He builds his music room using corrugated cardboard, drawing inspiration from paper-based sound absorbers and and acoustic diffusers commonly used in recording studios, and even in devices with uneven ridge surfaces that create diffusion, scattering sound to prevent it from traveling in a single direction. Bumo is imagined to have meticulously crafted this room piece by piece over a long period of time, making it entirely his own. The director appreciated this detail as a way to further strengthen his character. The greenhouse, Bumo's music room, and the mountain lodge used in the final victim selection scene were all conceived to feel like elements of an adult fable. To achieve this quality, each space was designed to sit subtly on the boundary between reality and fantasy and still maintaining a grounded sense of plausibility. My last question. Bumo's house, is this a location or a build? It's such a graphic space with all the white walls, yellow railings, and the chrome lighting fixtures. What were the thoughts to give these characters this space and how it contrasts with some of the cardboard walls in the room? She replied, "This is a location. Earlier, we could build the music room as a set because it was a crucial space for the three characters' fight scene. But this location, where both the exterior and living room needed to be captured simultaneously, was a true no other choice space. Even as time ran out, we could not secure any other location that would allow filming. As the production designer, I felt utterly hopeless. But the director appreciated the physical flow that this space created, which allowed the choreography of a one-take sequence. So we had no choice but to work with it. In the end, we developed the rationale this space is controlled by Ara, inheriting it from her father. The exterior, interior, and bedroom all reflect Ara's modern style, with only Bumo's areas stand out, differentiated by the paper diffuser room that he built." I should say Arya is the character's wife. So that's it. Those were the questions I asked. After seeing the film, I'm sure they will become very apparent of why I asked these questions. And if you are watching this YouTube video, you'll see what interesting details and design were used in this. So that's it. That's my conversation with production designer Ryu Seong-hie on No Other Choice. I am still thinking about that house and the greenhouse, and especially that cardboard room, because I would love to steal that. I'm not kidding. It's a real character room, so you really should check it out. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that wasn't too much of me talking, because I know my voice isn't the best. But I loved hearing her process. I'm so thankful that we went through being able to do this. It would just be weird to me as a podcast to have a translator like her I don't know. So I just thought this process might be better. I have a separate video of her sets that she's talking about on YouTube, so you can check that out today. And also I have a separate video for Overcompensating, which I hope you'll check out too. And I should say, I messed up and sent out the email for Overcompensating last week. My bad, because I had so much going on, I forgot to change the week of the email. So I am sorry for that. But hey, you got a week early, knowing what's coming up. Look at you. So here you go. Overcompensating with Amazon Prime Video series starring Benito Skinner as Benny, a former high school football star, valedictorian, and very closeted freshman at Yates University. So production designer Shayne Fox and set decorator Erika Lobko, they created this whole world. And I know that working with an actor, creator, you get very bonded with this person and you're creating this whole world that they've, wrote. So it's very bonding to be in that type of show. And I know that they really enjoyed working with him. They created the whole, dorm rooms, campus, the frat house. We talk about graphics of the secret society for the frat house, fresh and gold, which I like. And we get into color and layout and graphics and that anxiety and, one dorm room looks one way and one looks another, and that personality bringing out in the dressing is really important. They did a Charlie XCX concert. They did a Halloween episode. They did Idaho Thanksgiving. They did a lot. They did a lot of work on this show. So let's hear all about it. I hope you enjoy.
Shayne, do you remember that one?
Yeah.
That's a fun one to watch if you get there.
Yeah, it's like, because we only did 8 episodes, so the 7th one is kind of like the build up to like the craziness,
Right. It seems like you had fun on this, number one. I mean, it seems like even with the sets and everything getting a little bit looser with things and, being able to decorate and design dorms and people's personalities are so important in those in those spaces. I know
Yeah.
that when I have done dorms and like little girls' rooms, I feel like Instagram thinks I'm a pedophile because I'm just researching like college dorm rooms. Like, what's your college dorm room look like? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And trying to make it realistic and not a stereotype of what a teenager is.
Yeah. Yeah. And I haven't been a teenager for a long time, but some of
Well, things have changed since I was a teenager, but
Yeah.
we tried to overcompensate. We tried to do everything a bit more than reality, even though we wanted it grounded in reality.
Right.
We wanted it to feel real and true to the characters. We also wanted to hit it over the head a bit harder.
And
just to go with the theme of overcompensating.
did you base this on a specific college for design?
Well, sort of. I mean, we took a lot of cues from Benny. Benny was the creator, the writer, the producer, the star of the show. This is his story, right? Like basically it's his life story, his experiences. So we took cues from his real lived experience, and he actually sent me a Dropbox link with like tons of photos from his college days.
Oh, wow.
And we printed them out, we put them up in the art department, and I was like, this is our show. This is the jumping off point. And he was really specific about like the layout for his particular dorm room, which we see in the photo on the screen right here. Like how the desks were under the window and sort of at the end of the room there.
Yeah.
He was very specific about that because it just felt real to him, and something that I think production designers and set decorators always do. This is like a main goal of mine, is like to create a space for the actors so that they believe where they are. They really, really think they're there, and then that sets them up to do their best work. So
Yeah.
Erika and I and everyone else, like the scenic team and everybody, we worked really hard to make it feel real. And it's a studio build.
Yeah, I think when he walked into the set, he was blown away. He was like freaked out how much it felt like his college experience.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I never looked at any of this as like high design. Like we're not, breaking any crazy barriers here with these sets, but we tried really hard to make them real, and like so you could smell the beer and like the dirty carpet and like the mustiness, and just I wanted his room to feel like it was sub-level. So there's like that's the ground level outside, and I wanted to close it in a bit because it was larger than a real dorm room. I did the sloped ceilings just to give it like a sort of underground vibe, so that his sparkly character and all the fun stuff had like this dank bank backdrop kind of vibe.
Right. Because I mean, furniture wise, it's very like catalog. It's very like, this is just like State Department issued. It's like government. It's like, this is what you get.
It came from a dorm, right?
Yeah. It actually came from one of the University of Toronto dorm rooms.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that was sort of our challenge, was to get the dorm furniture on the timeline that we had with prep. Because a lot of the companies that we spoke to that provide dorm furniture, you need to order it like a year in advance, and they were already booked up for getting ready for the next school year. So yeah, we got a contact from the University of Toronto and went in, and they were just happened to be getting rid of this entire dorm worth of furniture, and it was really like the right look, I think, like the wood tone we liked and sort of the boxy shape of the furniture. So, and then I think construction made a couple pieces to match
Mm,
that
Yeah,
furniture so that we
we
had
made the
enough.
dresser taller and put the shelves on the wall, and like
mm,
Mhm.
this is really about nailing a vibe in there, and having it match Benny's experience, you know?
yeah. And two, I mean, there's something with dorm rooms that you can really key on in on personalities of cleanliness and messiness and one side of the room being a mess and one side not, and like really
Well, and the
giving,
evolution of a character, right?
yeah,
Like they're freshmen and they start and the room is empty. And like the first episode, we see it, there's nothing in there. And
yeah,
then by the end, it's like all this craziness has happened in there. And
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think also their parents have just dropped them off, and a lot of the time the parents have been involved in what furniture or what bedding they brought. But then eventually they probably develop their own character a bit more when they've been away from their parents a little bit longer.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this year it seems like in August, nothing on everything on TikTok, everything on Instagram was like the dorm rooms that have been like curated by these girls that are
yeah,
like
it's like a whole thing. Like there's
ridiculous.
like dorm room decorators and stuff now. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just commented to one girl, I'm like, let me see it in 3 months. Like it's not gonna look this good in 3 months. Like, and why would you get
Right.
white sheets? Like, why do you, what is everything white? Like, that's the dumbest like decision. So yeah, let's see that
Yeah.
white
I was
comforter.
gonna say with Benny's character's roommate Trey, I don't know if you remember Shayne, um, how we don't actually see him on camera that often.
Mm,
So it was fun to try to show his presence in the room and sort of show his character because I think part of the joke is that you don't see him that often, yet they live together.
yeah,
And he was a lacrosse player, and um, yeah, so it was just fun to kind of like try to put a little bit of character into his side of the room to give you an idea of who the person was that you never really saw.
that's a good roommate that you never see. That's that's ideal.
Yeah.
So you built
And so
how much stage space did you have? Because you have quite a lot of builds here. Were you
it
taking
didn't
down?
really feel like quite a lot coming off a show of like Shadows where we built like everything in huge. Everything these felt really small to me, but we tried to pack them in and be as interesting and detailed as possible. We had one studio where we did everything,
Mm,
and everything kind of had to interlock, and like we had very little time, little prep. It was mad dash to get the show off the ground.
what was your prep?
Um,
Do you remember?
I think it was 6 weeks.
Oh, that's so quick.
I
That's
know.
Yeah.
So it was important to me to have a hallway off the room so that you could have like background, and you could
yeah,
have walk and talks and like entrances, and like there's nothing worse than like building a set and there's a door and it just goes to a shoot off flat. It's like you need a bit of runway, and I
yeah,
wanted it to feel sub level, so this hallway was like not a lovely place to be, but it kind of helped tell the story of his room being underground ish.
yeah. I really like the cinder block layer, like that,
Yeah.
and like walking through that and feeling like, oh, this is so depressing, kind of.
Yeah, exactly, like sub-levels, like there's no natural light,
Yeah,
and then you can see on the left there was, like, a piece of hallway. I wanted it to feel like part of the old building, the old Victorian architecture,
mm,
so there's, like, an archway that, like, because much of where we shot at U of T was, Victorian, older build, so I wanted it to be like that leads to that old wing, and
right.
just so it felt like it wasn't just boring basement
So,
dorm room hallway the whole way.
so you did exterior campus at University of Toronto.
Yes, we did. Well,
Yeah.
and a bunch of other places too. We
Mm,
cheated a bunch of a girls' school, and there was like this weird estate building for the drop off in scene one. Like there was a many spots that subbed in for the university
yeah.
for Yates, our fictitious university.
Um, girls' rooms again. I mean, girls' dorms rooms can go from 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds. Like twinkle lights and color
Yeah.
Totally.
and clothes and never enough storage and, making it your own is
Yeah.
so much more
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing with this room too
Carmen
is
and
the
Haley's dorm.
difference between,
Uh,
sorry?
I was just saying Carmen and Haley's dorm room.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, just the difference between their sides of the room.
Yeah.
Carmen's was, yeah, just a bit more girl fresh out of high school, and she's got her favorite blanket, and she doesn't have a ton of really expensive um, stuff from Target or wherever. Um, but Haley's side of the room was really decked out, and she had more space, and she had um,
The bathroom.
more furniture, it seemed, and yeah, she had the bunk bed, um, and you learn later in the series that she somehow got the bigger room with the bathroom, and it's sort of in her character that she managed to kind of like get what she wanted more than the other students, I guess.
Mm. Well, there's always that girl.
Yeah,
We all know that
It's
girl.
fun. It was a fun room. It came together well. I mean, it was supposed to feel like a generic, sort of newer built. The architecture, like didn't have as much character as Benny's or as Peter's room that we'll look at next, I think.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it was just fun to create this like blank slate and let the girls just for me the real draw of the space was the characters.
Did you have hard ceilings, or were they lighting
Um,
bulb?
there was a perimeter ceiling. Like we
Mm.
were so budgetarily challenged that we
Yeah,
couldn't put ceilings everywhere. It was like, okay,
bring it
we've
over.
got 2 feet of a ceiling in here, and
Yeah. I
then
I'm,
you go
I always
that's
wonder because
Peter's.
lighting in there, because you have like the neon and the twinkle lights, and I didn't, it's a nice vibe in there, and you don't want it like
Yeah,
overpowered from above. But he did a good
yeah,
job.
a
He
lot of
did nice.
lamps.
Yeah.
Not a lot
yeah, a
happening.
lot of lamps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Peter's room is this whole different style. Like he got, I mean, he's at his,
So he's in a frat.
he's in a
He's in a
frat.
frat
Yeah, he's
house.
at
So
his
in
house.
Toronto, there's these
He's at the frat
beautiful
house.
old frat houses that we used for like the downstairs and the exterior. And so we built his room, and I wanted it to feel like it was like an old living room on the second level, like an older home, like a mansion, basically. So
Yeah.
that was the jumping off point. This was a fun one. I really loved the
Yeah.
set. We really the details. We really got into the details in that old bathroom and the tile and the wood and the moldings and everything was curved and all of the trim and the pocket doors that don't work and
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's a real eclectic mix
yeah.
of furniture.
Well, that's the
That
thing too.
feeling of,
You get to do that. I mean, that's always fun.
yeah, all the
Oh
furniture
yeah.
left behind by all the other students who have lived in the space over the years and come and gone from the fraternity. And so you have things from all different eras. And we did a lot of Facebook Marketplace
Mm.
shopping, and um, the Habitat for Humanity Restore here,
Oh yeah.
also a really good resource.
That's
But Shayne also had this great idea to make the fireplace mantle in the room the headboard of the bed,
oh, do I?
or sort of like where we would put the head of the bed. So
Oh yeah.
it gave a lot more kind of like visual interest to. There was a lot of scenes that took place in the bed, so it was nice to kind of have that grounding the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah, I
it's
think
a
because I remember someone in my university days had that. It was like, ooh, the headboard's the fireplace mantle.
Yeah,
It's so cool.
and a lot of
It's
like
just fun.
aging on this set. There's a lot of like giving it some
Yeah, because
age and some depth.
it just wanted to feel disgusting. Like I wanted people to look at it and
yeah.
smell the beer and the pee and like the soap is scuzzy on the sink and like really we overcompensated because we wanted to sort of sell that this was his character and we had to sort of do it over the top as much as we could get away with while it's still grounded in reality.
Did you
And
Yeah, the scenic department used we got them some bars of ivory soap, because you wanted the green to see the like green of the ivory soap
Right.
kind of all around the sink and in the bathroom.
Like
That's great.
Irish Spring, like that, like the green.
Yeah, Irish Springs. Yeah.
Yeah,
And you can see like these sets that we're looking at, they're not like colossal, they're not like, crazy hard to understand how they were built and done. But what I love about them is how different they are from each other. And that was my goal, was
yeah,
to have these different spaces so that, screen time, just our characters in their environments, and that would highlight the difference in their personalities.
yeah.
So just trying to vary it up instead of having dorm rooms that were the same. We really bought into who they are and what their spaces would be like.
You really get like a variance of characters in this show too, and that's really nice to play with because of they're spending so much time in their dorms or they're here and there. You get that opportunity to design and dress for the characters more. It's really nice.
Yeah, and that speaks to like we were trying to play into this sort of timeless college vibes, like all of the experiences that we all had and that people have. Like there's just different people from different walks of life, and we didn't want it to be like, what time period is it? We
Right.
just wanted it to be all time periods and like all the classics, all the tropes, all the stereotypes,
Mhm.
and kind of play them up a bit,
Yeah.
lean into them.
I think too the opportunity when you're doing like the frat house too is getting the history in there and getting I'm gonna jump ahead for 1 second because the graphics really come into play, like coming
Yeah.
up with the school graphics
So
and coming up with like okay, sorry. That's the fraternity, right?
that's the
Yeah.
flesh and gold. That's the fraternity. I was gonna say graphics were a
Yeah,
huge part of
yeah,
creating this world. It was a lot because we couldn't see anything in real life, and we wanted to brand everything. We had to brand the school. FNG, the Flesh and Gold fraternity, is what's on the screen now. I put the sort of evolution of the logo together so you could see like how we concepted it and how it
yes,
ended up, and then we used it everywhere. We overdid it. We overcompensated with the flags and the medallions and the pins and it was just like everywhere. We had in his house, in the Flesh and Gold house, we had that
yeah,
because we just wanted it to feel like you knew where you were, you knew what it meant, this sort of like classic society of, legacy and all of that kind of those
Mhm.
stereotypes.
yeah. And then getting to use
Yeah,
that in
we took
dress.
the design that
Oh,
So say that
yeah.
again.
I'm sorry, I'm getting to use that in decorating for the characters too, and using all these graphics is a lot. There's so much like things on boards outside and and there's always like an event going on a campus. There's always graphics around in campus to be used by set dressing, which is always
Oh my
nice.
God. So many
Yeah,
Yeah.
graphics.
we had a big stack of flyers of all the different clubs, and it was really fun seeing all the clubs that the art department
Right.
would come up with. Like it was just a hilarious, like little kind of inside joke to see dressed around on the various sets. Our on-set dresser had a big stack that they were constantly reusing, and then we would say, okay, there's too much
Yeah.
fencing club on campus, let's do more of the improv group. And it would reference there was an improv group in the show, so that was sort of a fun thing to reference in the graphics as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
It's
was going to say with the Flesh and Gold, we made a felt banner that the set deck team cut out, um, felt from a template from the art department. And so we made one that felt really homemade to put in the Flesh and Gold house.
mm,
And they used like a Sharpie and some paint markers and stuff to draw it so that it looked kind of really homemade. And we sort of tried to recycle that wherever we could in the frat house.
Yeah, I wanted it to feel like those old felt handmade things that have like layers of dust, and it's
yeah.
just like you inherited this thing and they just think it's like amazing, but it's really like awful and
Yeah.
amazing at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really love the design of it though. It's like a bone that like transforms into a key. It's a
Yeah,
really
it's
it's
bone key, and it's
yeah.
kind of very phallic and
Yeah.
very like male genitalia, when that was like part of the whole story, just played into the Benny's, you know, heightened sexualized experiences, and this is a raunchy show.
Yeah.
Like there's no, it's not really it's not for kids. It was just like a subtle way for us to be kind of overcompensating
Totally.
with the iconography of like the the symbolism
Yeah.
in the logo here.
Yeah. And then you have the Benny family home, which is like, I mean, I think you got a lot of colors in here. You made them very
Well,
colorful.
it was the feature wall era of like the early 2000s when every room had to have like a feature wall. So that was the joke, that goes off to college and he comes back and his mom's gone nuts with like feature walls. So um in order to like nail it, you kind of have to overdo it. So when you see all the rooms together on a page like this, it's like, whoa. But I don't think it's as obvious when you're watching the episode. I mean, you do see the orange kitchen, but you don't see it in every shot like that.
Right.
But Grace's room with the pink and the black, that was
Yeah.
fun.
The
It was like a,
pink and black checkboard is like fantastic.
it's nutty. It was like because there's so many angles in that room, like the
That's like,
dormers and stuff. It was like mathematically a little bit challenging
yeah.
to get it.
Yeah, this room was really fun to see come together. And I think for Mary Beth, the actor, she felt really like seen by coming into this room and feeling like her character was um, the origins of her character as a teenager are in this room. And when she goes to college, she becomes this different character, and no one really knows
Mm.
um, what she was like in high school. And so this kind of gives you that backstory of what she was really like in high school.
Isn't
More
that the
emo.
best? Isn't that the
Emo,
best part
emo.
about going to college and nobody knew? Nobody knew.
Yeah.
You just start over and
Yeah, and
yeah,
that's a lot of what this show is about. It's
yeah,
about the experience of like the freshmen and how we all feel like we have to be things that we're not and overcompensate and like hide who we are. And, you know, for Benny, the character Benny, it's a coming out story and how he, you know, figures out how to be who he really is. And
yeah,
but it really it's a story that I think anybody can relate to because we were all that age at one point and we were all that awkward and shy and embarrassed and hiding our true selves just to fit in, you know. That's what the show is, and it's a self-discovery thing, and it's got so much heart.
yeah,
And I think that really came through. You never know when you read a script and you go and you sit in production meetings, like what is the thing that's going to permeate, what is the thing that's going to hit the audiences. We all kind of knew it had heart, but wait until you see the episodes, you're like, oh my God, it's like
yeah,
so touching and so
Mhm.
raunchy at the same
yeah,
time.
yeah.
It's like the weirdest thing. But that's Benny. He's like Benny is one in a million,
Oh, that's awesome.
truly. Like
I do like for Benny though the opportunity to see his room at home and then see his
mm,
dorm life like and how you change and how like I didn't really want blue but my mom painted you know what I mean like things like that like for
Yeah.
me like even for me like I didn't really want teal and pink in my room but that's what my mom did like
Yeah, I think that's entirely this. His room at home is really he's his parents' golden child, and it's just a shrine to him that's probably more controlled by his parents than it is by him. It's got his trophies, and he's got various certificates of, you know, being a great son and
yeah
um, student in the community. And there's this football jersey. And yeah, we went really, really over the top with the trophies. Um, and then also, you don't have a photo of it here, but in the stairwell going up to the second floor, we did a bunch of those framed
well,
family photo collections where it's got a kind of
oh
like collage of like of the kids. And the ones of Grace are pretty small, and then the ones of Benny are these like huger ones with tons of photos. So we really went over the top with him being the golden child um and
the
the apple of his
favorite
parents' eye.
but it also play it, the his room being like that and his mom and his shrine to himself, it just plays into the story in the sense that when he wants to come out and he wants to be himself. His main worry is like, will he be loved? Because he's so loved as the Benny, as the football homecoming king and everybody's favorite son. And he's worried that he won't be as revered or loved anymore. And like that's his awakening, right? Like that's part of the reason why he's staying in the closet in the story. Just interesting to play off those things.
So the home is a location, and you did
Yeah.
like every room in this house almost. I mean,
Yes.
what was your prep like for that? This is September.
Oh, like 5 minutes.
I mean, because you
Yeah,
painted.
it was
I mean, it's a lot. You got to paint and redress, and I'm sure you took everything out. And
it was a lot, yeah. The homeowner um, had a lot of filming there, but they were really present through the whole prep.
please
Um,
get out,
you know,
get out. Now, don't
I
watch
know
me do
it's
this to
always
your home.
it was very sensitive because we went into the scout initially and thought we could use a lot more of the furniture, and then as we got there to actually do the dress, it was like, okay, actually this is Aunt Susan's
Oh,
heirloom thing, so we got to get rid of that. We got to bring something else new in.
I hate
But
that.
I think all of our departments really worked well together. Like we were really close with scenic and construction. Um, and we just kind of like we were able to work around each other so that we could get it done in a short time.
Yeah, because it's a lot. I mean, you got at least like five, six rooms here that you're seven maybe with that bathroom.
Plus, we
Yeah.
got
And we
the
were
backyard and the front yard, and there's other rooms.
and then
Yeah.
we were prepping other
Oh yeah.
sets at the same time as doing this. So it was a busy time for sure.
Were your episodes, did you block shoot? Did you do two at a time? Did you shoot this location out for the
Mm,
whole series, or did you go back?
I feel like we
We
went
shot this
back.
location out because
Okay.
it's only um at the beginning, the first episode, we have the flashback when when he's a little kid watching TV, the George of the
Okay.
Jungle scene. So we shot that with this episode 7, and we just shot it out all at once. Um, but a lot of our other locations we went back to the school, the exteriors of the university and stuff. We would go back to U of T, um, kind of in each block.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was functioning school, so we were always at their mercy of like when they would let us come.
Yeah. The second season of Man on the Inside, he's at a university. So we were at Caltech a lot. But block shooting, I think we were there maybe three times, maybe twice for the whole season. So it was nice because you just get it done. Like I don't want to have to
Yeah,
come back here. I don't want to touch these people's house again. Like it's a lot to keep going back to someone's house and like get
Especially if they're
that.
around and they want to talk to you about stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to you. Please just put blinders on. Go to the hotel that they gave you. Like go to the
yeah.
pool. Go relax.
Let us paint pink and black all over
Yeah,
your
yeah.
bedroom walls.
Now, did they keep any of it, or did you have to paint it? You have to restore it. Yeah.
And then we had to put it all
I
back.
think
Yeah.
you used tough back for a lot of it as well, like in the kit or in the kitchen at
In the
least. That
kitchen
was
we
tough,
did because it was a weird wall surface in there, but I think
right?
pretty much. Oh, and then Benny's room was tough back. Yeah, maybe I can't remember.
Yeah, get
Oh, yeah,
it.
because I think we had to switch back and forth from the before the accent wall was painted when he was before he'd gone to college, and then when he comes back at Thanksgiving, the accent wall. So there was a scheduling issue, I think, with actor availability where we had to switch
Oh, that's
back and
right.
forth between before and after the accent wall.
That's always the way, right?
That
Yeah.
never happens. That's crazy talk. That never happens.
That
No.
never happens.
Yeah. I should have put this. Sorry, I should have put this earlier. The Carmen and Haley's dorm room.
And
But
then Carmen and Haley's dorm, yeah.
yeah, I mean the build. So all of your builds for the dorm rooms were on one stage? It
Hmm.
seems like a lot because I feel like it seems like a lot because of the hallways, like it's
Yeah,
fitting all of it on there,
it
fitting
wasn't
it.
a lot. It wasn't a very big studio, and like the sets themselves weren't that big. It was just that studio was packed.
Oh,
And
Yeah,
there's the
every
other
inch of it
things in
got
there.
used by the end of it.
that's
Hmm.
always good. And then we're looking at a cabin dress of location. Cabins are always fun. Cabin's
Yeah.
funny.
This
Yeah.
was fun. It was like a
Friday the 13th.
location. It was a callback to like a Friday the 13th where they're like making out and then
Yeah.
he gets stabbed and I don't know, it was like a fantasy. It's a fantasy sequence of him, having relations with a guy.
Right. In the
It was
cabin.
funny. It's just fun. It was camp. It was fun to play up a little cabin vibe. It was
Did
a real cabin and we just decorated it.
did you have
It was
a favorite? Oh, go ahead, Erica.
I was going to say, I remember this location was tough because it was a cabin in the middle of a conservation area. And so cars couldn't get anywhere near it. And we had to um, bring everything in laundry tubs. And there was also no cell reception. So, of course, like I think we were shooting something else. Our dressing team was there. They were sending us photos. Photos weren't going through. And I was like very pleasantly surprised with how it looked on camera because yeah, there was just so much back and forth with sending photos and not having communication.
Mm,
But it turned out really nice.
yeah. No, it's weird how we can't really do our jobs without cell phones now. It's really
Yeah.
become hard.
How did we ever before? I don't know.
I don't know how they did like beepers. Like here, like I'm not of that era, but like guys in a truck getting beeped, like 911 call me from the decorator and then pulling over
Oh
and they're
yeah.
like, "Oh, what's wrong?" It's like, "Well, when are you going to be here?" Well, we had to
Yeah.
just pull over to call you. So,
It's
yeah,
not a
it's another 20
911.
minutes. So,
I remember those days. Totally.
but I really like too. There's a picture you put together of your art department, like very collegiate and um like a yearbook page. It's very cute. And with your graphics, I mean, you guys made t-shirts and everything, hats and all that jazz made for this too.
All
It's
the
a whole nother
merch,
Lots
right?
of merch. There was tons of merch.
Yeah.
it's a whole nother
We did a
level.
whole bodega store that was sort of
Mm,
like a little corner store that kids could go to, but it was also sold the university's merch. And so we worked with the wardrobe department who's taking the graphics and making a lot of pieces for the actors to be wearing and background to be wearing throughout the show. And we also dressed a bunch of those pieces into dorm rooms and the fraternity. Yeah, it was nice to have things like that to
yeah.
pull into every set.
Did you have a tough time on clearance with there's an eagle as their mascot? Did you No? Oh, nice.
No, no. The eagle with the giant nipples, that was a
Yeah.
Benny
Yeah.
request.
Oh my God, I didn't even realize. I just was like, he's got pecs. I was like, oh, he's a built eagle. I like it. Um,
Text and nipples, you wouldn't believe how much we talked about those nipples.
that's hysterical.
True,
The
true
conversations you
story.
never thought you have when you
Yeah,
work in the art department and
100%.
set decorating. It's like ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
Um, so there is the season two? Is that what you have told me?
Yes, there's
Yes.
gonna be a season 2 where we start prep in February.
That's fantastic. What do you think was the
I know.
biggest hurdle for the season?
It
The
was a
budget.
mad dash. It was a lot. We kept talking about it being a little show, but we didn't feel it like a little show when you realize that you're like, doing a Charlie XCX concert, you're
Right.
setting up the house, you're doing a dorm room scene, and there was like, I remember there was one day where there was like 5 things. We had 5 teams going at 5 different parts of the city, which isn't abnormal, but when we were under the guise that this was just a quick little show and we're spread so thin, it's like, okay, maybe it's not a little show. And it was just that sort of mental hurdle of like, how do we do all this and get it to be amazing and not burn people out and not go over budget? Isn't that always
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our teams were both the art department and the set decoration team were quite small. But everyone that was on both of those teams was working really hard and was really passionate about it. And um, just really went above and beyond to make it all happen. There was a lot of dressing on the weekend, a lot of sort of shooting a new location on a Monday. And so a lot of dressing on the weekend. And because it was a lot of locations, um, yeah, just tons of sets, lots of, and some of them were small, and then some of them were, more of a full redress of a space than maybe we initially anticipated. So, um, yeah, I think it was just ambitious for what we initially, or it was more ambitious than what we had initially thought it was.
Yeah, they're going to be in the
We're always
we do
just
the
trying to do
dorms,
as
and they're
much
going to
as
be
we
in the
can.
dorms, and that's it. They're going to be in the
Yeah,
dorms.
they're gonna be in the
It'll
dorms the
fine.
whole time.
It's totally fine. Like, yeah, that's what the budget is. That's where I'm spending it. And oh, I have 16
Well, the
swing
fun
sets.
fun part for me of this show was like the fantasy elements, where we
Yeah.
had to do like there's like a jungle scene that they cut to for a minute, and there's a slide in here that I have with like a bathroom, the fold away walls.
Yeah, yeah.
You have
I
that?
don't have that on
Like,
here because
okay, it's
yeah,
like that was a perfect example for me. Like, we wanted a bathroom set, so I designed a bathroom set, but of course it was too big and we didn't have time or money to build it. So I just boiled it down to like one wall with the urinals and a piece of ceiling, and then we built a stall. But the stall had to be replicated in green screen so that the walls could flow away, and then the thing could start spinning for the big scene where he's kissing a boy for the first time. It was like those were the fun moments for me, was how much can we infuse magic and awesomeness into these little tiny sets, these builds that are like multi-leveled, and they spin and they fold and they're glamorous, but they're also only like 14 feet by 12 feet.
yeah,
So that was challenging, but that's the exciting part for me. How can we make it dynamic and interesting for the viewers and magical?
yeah. Because we all want to
Yeah,
be
this was the show
challenged.
of bathrooms.
Yeah. How many bathrooms did you do?
We kept making jokes that I think we did. Well, there was the dorm room bathroom set. There was
Fraternity.
yeah, there was a bunch of bathroom locations we filmed in. It was just like, which bathroom are we doing today? Like,
There's so many bathrooms we designed that we
Yeah.
didn't build, and then there's bathrooms that we had to copy because stunts and effects were happening in them, and then there was like bathrooms on locations. Can we shoot in there? Is it too small? Is it too this? Like, with the bathroom show for sure.
That seems to be a theme sometimes, like, oh, it's the office show, or like, oh, they're at a restaurant, they're at a cafe. Every other other scene they're at another cafe. How can much of these people eat? Like, what are they doing? No more coffee.
Well, I mean, college bathrooms, right? They're
Yeah.
having sex. They're getting sick. They're hiding. They're
Yeah.
having conversations. They're confessing. They're like, it's just all those things, right?
Yeah. Well,
It's kind of silly.
it's always some sort of theme that you didn't think it was gonna be. You're like, yeah.
Bathrooms.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much. I know this was a little
you.
tight to get in there, and I'm so glad you made the effort because I love talking. You know what, Shayne? So when I saw you at the end. So thank you so much to Shayne and Erika for giving us a little speck into Benito Skinner's college brain of his dorm and frat house and Yale University. And again, I'm so thankful to have been able to translate that interview with Ryu Seong-hie. It was just cool to be able to communicate with someone and talk about design. So that was really fun. Both of these interviews are separate on the YouTube channel. They have their own separate videos that you can check out. Again, No Other Choice is, I believe, in theaters. And I am sure all the screeners that you get if you are an Academy or Guild member. And Overcompensating is on Amazon now. You can check out the whole season if you'd like. And again, the ADG presentations, that is free to any. You don't have to be a member to look that up. Go to the ADG website, go under awards. I think it's like, I don't remember. You kind of got to look at what you're getting into, but it says presentations, and you can click on that, and the whole PDF of everyone's comes up, and it's awesome. So yeah, if you enjoyed this chat, it really helps me if you rate and review this podcast on Apple or Spotify and YouTube, please. And share this episode with another designer, a decorator, or an overcompensating fan. who pauses to look at these details that we are putting into our worlds. You can watch more conversations like this on the Decorating Pages YouTube channel, where I'm posting clips and deep dives into production design and set decorating. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Happy holidays. And I have one more for you next week. So not Happy New Year yet. I hope you got an earful. I'm Kim Wannop for Decorating Pages.